recover emotionally to be ready to play in this evening's third-place game. Lockport finished fourth back in 78. They'd like to better that mark tonight. The Wildcats and the Porters tip it up next.
It's class dismissed tonight here in Peoria as the final night of the basketball season in Illinois finishes here tonight with the final two games in 4A. We begin with the 4A consolation game. It's Evanston coming back from that last-second buzzer beater of a loss last night to take on Lockport. And here for the call, Dave Bernhard and Mark Lindo.
Thank you very much, Lee. You know, Lawrence Thompson Jr., the head coach for the Lockport Porters, echoes the sentiments of so many coaches that have coached in this consolation game, and that is that this game is all about pride. But tonight, Mark, not only is it about pride, but this is between two very proud programs.
Two proud programs, two teams that had extraordinary seasons. They had disappointing losses yesterday. They thought they'd be playing a title game, but they have a chance to finish on a high tonight.
And they've gotten here to Peoria this way. First of all, for the Lockport Porters, a big win over Thornton, and that preceded the sectional championship overtime win over Bloom Township. A three-pointer at the buzzer by Brian Bradley knocked off O'Fallon, and then last night Lockport led for only 33 seconds in that 17-point loss to Richards. For Evanston, an overtime win over Loyola Academy got them started in the sectional semifinals, a 12-point win over Arlington Heights Hersey, 10 points over a very hot Mount Carmel team, and then you saw moments ago that three-pointer, the heartbreaker at the buzzer that ends up sending Evanston here to this consolation game.
Carver Arena, we get the 4A championship evening underway with our 4A consolation game, matching the 24-7 Lockport Porters and the 29-4 Evanston Wildcats. Dave Bernhard and Mark Lindo with you here as we take a look at the Porters going through their final warm-ups. This is where these two teams hail from. Evanston, of course, from the north shore of the Lake Michigan, Chicago area. Lockport in the southwest suburbs, and they have come to Peoria to determine which trophy they will bring home. Now, when you take a look back at the history as we check out these two communities, Will County is the home for Lockport, and of course, Evanston and Cook County. Southwest Suburban Blue Conference, where the Porters play out of, and of course, Evanston from the Central Suburban South. Evanston, fourth time that they will get a trophy. They finished first in 1968, second in 84, and a couple of years ago in 2003 finished in fourth place. For Lockport, they're going to bring home their third state trophy back in 1973, a fourth place trophy, and then in 1978, the undefeated 33-0 Lockport Porters, the state champs. The Evanston Wildcats fans have made their way once again to Peoria, young and old, and that's what the state championship is all about. I hope that young man can stay awake a little bit longer tonight than he may be accustomed to, because we'll have a state championship ball game next. After this one, that will match the ZBs from Zion Benton against the Richards Bulldogs, two first-timers in the state finals. Let's get this one underway, and for that, let's go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association, the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena, site of America's original March Madness. This is a third-place game for the 4A 2008 boys. Let's meet the starting lineups for this contest. At a guard for Lockport Township, a 6'3" senior, 3, Brian Bradley. At a guard for Evanston Township, a 6'2" senior, 11, Jordan Nash. The other guard for the Porters, a 6-foot senior, 10, Mike Frigo. The other guard for the Wildcats, a 6'4" senior, 30, Stephen Rudnicki. And a forward for Lockport, a 6'4" senior, 12, Rob Carroll. At center for Evanston, a 6'5" senior, 50, Danny Farr. And a forward for the Porters, a 6'2" senior, 30, Darrell Williams. And a forward for the Wildcats, a 6'6" senior, 34, Dorian Hunt. The third forward for Lockport Township, a 6'6" senior, 32, Justin Jarose. And the other forward for Evanston Township, a 6'4" senior, 44, Travis Clark. Head coach for Lockport in his 9th season at the school, a record of 144 and 106, Lawrence Thompson Jr. Head coach in his 3rd year at Evanston, a record of 62 and 29, Bobby Locke. As the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, the IHSA, its board of directors, and its member schools expect to promote good sportsmanship by all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and the officials in a positive manner. Do what's right. Thank you. No other state in America can claim the rich history and tradition has been generated by March Madness in Illinois. It's America's original March Madness. We direct your attention to the arena floor to meet the officials for this game. The referee from Batavia, Mark Sikierski. From Highland Park, William Smith. And from Peoria, Eugene Rayford. Presenting the game ball for this 3rd place game will be Joe Hart, President PJ Hare Incorporated, one of the sponsors of the March Madness experience. All of us thank PJ Hare for their contribution to the greatest high school single event in the country.
Here are your starting lineups, and if you take a look at the Evanston side, you do not even see the player that we featured in our pregame, the key player, Zachary Morton, but there is a great reason for this, Mark.
Well, Zachary Morton is not starting tonight. He and Jordan Nash are very, very close friends throughout their childhood. He went to head coach Bobby Locke and said, I want Jordan Nash to make a start. He gave up his starting spot in the state tournament for his good buddy, Jordan Nash. You'll see number 11 having an opportunity out there tonight. How unselfish can our feature player be?
You know, and Zachary Morton is a senior himself. This will be his last high school game, and he gives it up to his best buddy. That is so cool. That is, again, and I know we seem to wear it out, that is truly what high school sports, you get that more here than anywhere else. We're set to get started here in our consolation battle. It'll be the Evanston Wildcats in white, the tip controlled by the Lockport Porters. And it was Darrell Williams that wasn't quite aware that that ball was going to be zinging past him, and that's how we get underway 5 seconds in.
Well, Lockport, 17 turnovers last night. Took about 5 seconds to turn it over tonight. Both teams are going to have to create some energy within themselves, try to get some emotion going in this 3rd place game.
Stephen Rudnicki has it for Evanston. 2 of their 4 losses this year coming at the hands of Zion Benton. Contact underneath and an offensive foul will be charged to Jordan Nash. 12th time the Lockport Porters have been here. We mentioned the 4th place finish for Lockport along with the state championship for the Lockport Porters. That championship for Bob Basarge coming in 1978.
Evanston coming out man-to-man defense. Lockport, of course, came out in a zone. So we'll see 2 contrasting styles defensively, 2 different approaches. Both of those are intended to keep the ball out of the paint area defensively.
Justin Jarrell's a little bit of foul trouble last night in the first half. Dishes it up inside and unable to finish is Brian Bradley, and here comes Evanston.
To Ryan Hunt with that rebound. He's a twist in the starting lineup as well, so another young man getting his first start of the weekend.
Dorian Hunt replaced Sean Kroger Key into the starting lineup. Kroger Key last night had a big night. He got things started in a big way for Evanston, finishing with 13 points.
Never know what coaches have planned, but I would think that you'll see an awful lot of substitutions here tonight in this game.
Once and twice, and the ball finally goes down for Dorian Hunt.
Shows his ability to be a quick jumper. Boom, he hit the floor and springs right back up following his own miss.
6'6", 180-pound senior. Inside Bradley. Kind of lost track of where he was, and Brian Bradley last night had 10.7 below his season's average. Speaking of averages, there are your scoring averages, both offensively and defensively for Lockport and Evanston. The Wildcats will score a little bit more on you. Lockport is content to keep the pace in the low 50s. If that's where it is, they're comfortable with that. Here you take a look at the common opponents. Thornwood, Oak Park River Forest, Rich Central. Bobby Locke looking on. What a job Bobby Locke has done in 3 years at Evanston. 62 wins and 29 losses.
Very impressed with Bobby Locke's team, how disciplined they are.
Here's Bradley. Still unable to score, but the foul will go down for Mike Frigo.
Frigo, a 3-year player in his own right. He was up on the varsity 3 years ago. Never really came up with the big numbers, but he comes up with big plays, and he's been a guy that's real solid, giving them stability as well.
Rudnicki knocks down the J.
Great job, Rudnicki, with a crossover dribble left, right, broke a couple ankles along the way, elevated, hit that intermediate jump shot.
Lockport found themselves victors in that Bloom sectional. That sectional featured top-seeded Homewood Flossmoor. Bloom knocked off Homewood Flossmoor, and the Porters took care of Bloom, and combine that with the win over O'Fallon. They come down here and play on this Carver Arena floor for the second consecutive year. Unable to capitalize off the offensive rebound, here comes Rudnicki. Ahead to Nash. They'd love to get Nash in the scorebook. He can't do it. And Lockport will find themselves victimized by another giveaway underneath the bucket. Narayan Hunt with his second bucket.
Great persistence by Hunt on the offensive glass. That's 2 stickbacks he has, second chance opportunities, being very, very active, fresh legs.
Frigo tries to dish inside. Nice job defensively by Travis Clark to get a hand on the ball. We would like to thank Walgreens, a proud sponsor of these IHSA telecasts and the IHSA Do What's Right sportsmanship program. 3 minutes gone here in your consolation game, and it's Evanston by 4. We'll step aside for these local messages.
Lockport High School's 100th year of basketball, and an important and interesting fact about them is 50 out of the 51 years, they've actually only had 4 different coaches. In 57, the coach was Bill Connors, and in the year 66, the coach was Bob Barsarich, and he actually had a stint of 21 years. And in 88, it was Joe Gura, and 99, we have our present coach, Lawrence Thompson Jr. Hey, Coach Lindo, you know how important longevity is at high school basketball, don't you?
Longevity at basketball for Mark Lindo. I don't know, how do we measure longevity in the coaching ranks, Mark?
I tell you what, if you persevere year after year and you get in the mid-20s or even the mid-10s or teens, then you've been around for a while, no doubt.
Into the Evanston lineup now, the normal starters, Zachary Martin along with Sean Krogert-Key. And they are in the middle of this top part of the zone. I
know what longevity does. It makes your hair thinner, grayer, and, well, I won't go any further than that, but it costs you a while when you've been in the profession. But the joys overcome the negatives. There's no doubt about that, working with youth.
Here's Zachary Morton bringing it up. We said he gave away his starting spot tonight to his best buddy, Jordan Nash, fellow senior. Krogert-Key with it to Morton. Krogert-Key got things started. 7 of his 13 points came early in the game last night against Zion Benton. That was a game that Evanston jumped out to a 12-0 lead. And after falling on that three-pointer at the buzzer, they found themselves absolutely heartbroken. Lockport unable to finish here in the early going.
Lockport getting good looks. As you mentioned, their shooting percentage abysmal at this juncture.
Once again, the strong rebound inside. This time Travis Clark with it. And possession will go to Lockport. 33 in a loss to West Aurora back on January 19th for Lockport. They had some trouble scoring, obviously, last night against a very, very good Richards team that we'll see later on. In fact, Lockport took about 4.5 minutes in the fourth quarter last night to score their first points, and they have just one bucket here midway through the first quarter tonight.
Lockport starts 5 seniors on a normal basis, and they average just 55 points a game on the year. So, again, tempo is usually dictated by their zone defense, starting a slower pace kind of basketball.
Jaros dishes to Williams. Ryan Colazzo is into the ballgame. Colazzo gave Porters a little bit of a spark off the bench last night.
Hit a jump shot, had a nice assist, had a bloody knee kind of play where he got down and dirty and made a nice play off a loose ball. Things coaches like that, gets him more PT tonight.
Williams finds Jaros. Inside they find Landon Gamble, and there's a bucket for the big sophomore.
We talked about that on the open. Landon Gamble has to come in big and give them some quality minutes against the big people that Evanston have inside. He reaps the benefits of a nice high-low pass away from the defense by Jaros, showing his experience how to play the high-low game.
Bobby Locke has just sent in Eric Dortch, a 6'5" junior. He'll replace Dorian Hunt. And Gamble pulls the Porters within a point.
And Dortch gave him some good minutes off the bench as well. Anytime you have depth, you can go 7 or 8 deep. That's how you win 28, 30, 31 ball games. You're like everybody in the Final Four has done.
Evanston has had 8 different players lead them in scoring this year. Far inside, or make that Clark inside with the kiss off the glass.
Clark's a big body, 240. When he and Farr are in there at the same time, they come out to about 500 pounds of beef on the inside. That's some big bodies.
Take a look at this zone. You've got size on the wings in your guards in the form of Morton along with Rudnicki. Morton at 6'3", Rudnicki at 6'4", and then at the point you've got Kroger Key also at 6'4". That takes away a lot of passing lanes.
Great wingspan on the perimeter, and a good job by Lockport as they got the ball down to the sideline, then flashed a man from behind the defense, the weak side, and nobody was able to bump the cutter without fouling. So Lockport with a nice little offensive set there.
Bradley thought about a long one. He's going to go short and touched last by one of the Wild Kids inside.
Bradley averaging 17.2 points a game in his final game of his 3-year career, and just not off to a good start, trying to force some things early on. He's got to sit back and let the game come to him. Anytime you're struggling at all as a scorer, you got to tell yourself the next shot's got to be an easy one. So you get that, you get some confidence, get into flow.
Bradley has been such a major reason the Porters have advanced here to Peoria. Had 27 points against Bloom in that overtime win, including free throws that sent the game into overtime. And Landon Gamble comes up with the offensive putback.
They had a big sophomore, 6'4", 215. We talked about him on the open. He's come in with a high-low basket, then an offensive rebound basket. Lockport in a 1-3-1 zone of their own. That's shades of yesteryear. They used to love that zone.
Oh, that was automatic. Here's Sean Kroger Key. Jaros, a nice little tip rebound. Lockport a chance to lead on this trip. And this foul will be called on Dortch.
Great hustle by Eric Dortch. Ball was out in front of him. He wouldn't give up on the play, tried to make a play from the backside. It wasn't there, but great persistence on defensive transition.
Well, here comes half of your 500-pound inside force. Danny Farr comes back in. Bobby Locke got him off the bench immediately after Landon Gamble scored on that putback the last trip down.
See if they can get Landon Gamble another touch and get this high-low game going. Landon Campbell, you'll see Jaros work the short corner at some point. They'll try to knock the ball down to the baseline and then slide their post player down to the strong side block and get a post-up situation.
You hear Lawrence Thompson Jr., the head coach for Lockport, say attack. Evanston's not going to make it easy on you, and a foul out front by Sean Kroger Key.
And he's saying attack the gaps, and what you want to do in a zone offense is dribble into the zone. You want to make 2 play 1. If you can get 2 defenders to play 1 basketball, that's when you can step out with a passing angle and reverse the ball. So you have to dribble the ball into the zone to distort the defense.
In the final 90 seconds of the first quarter, this is your consolation game in Class 4A. Zion Benton and Richards to follow for the 4A championship.
2 ways to beat a zone are to dribble into the gaps or throw the ball into the interior and play, get the ball into the high post.
Nothing there for Bradley.
Lockport showing great patience.
That's there for Bradley. Maybe not as patient as Lawrence Thompson Jr. would have liked right at that moment. On the break the other way, and the layup goes to the freshman, 5'8" freshman Garrett Jones.
The old and the new. Morton with great vision looking up the floor, and he hit the freshman 5'8" in stride for the easy lay-in.
It's interesting, you talk about patience. Bradley thought he had something, and just like that, rather than a potential Lockport lead, it goes 2 the other way.
Decision making by Zachary Morton and Rudnicki is just impeccable. Both of those young men know how to create tempo, know when to back that tempo out.
Bobby Locke says he thinks they're maybe the best guard tandem in the state. Well, it's interesting because here at the state tournament this year, I think there's about 4 or 5 different coaches in Class 3A and 4A that would make that same claim.
You can't be a great basketball team without a great point guard. There's a bunch of them in this tournament.
An air ball from Jones. Now Lockport with 5 seconds, going to have to hurry. And a foul on the way up the floor by Ryan Frazier Chambers.
I'll tell you what, that's the 6th team foul for Evanston compared to 0 for Lockport. So you're going to watch free throw shooting and maybe foul trouble be a part of this basketball game in a hurry.
Bradley's going to have to hurry. His attempt to tie at the buzzer comes up short. A low-scoring first quarter here in the consolation game, but we'll be back with quarter number 2 on the IHSA TV network.
Evanston with a 10-7 lead over Lockport, but the Lockport fans are ready to get fired up. We're in the L-Town crowd. Curtis Cozy is here. You've got the PEC stick, stands for pie-eating champ stick. It's kind of a voodoo thing. Explain it to us.
Well, you know, opposing teams don't like it very much. You know, we don't have a lot of people out here today, but these are the loudest ones, and we're going to get wild right now.
Show us the power. Show us the power. Curtis says it's not him that leads the crowd. It's the stick. Whoa. They've got the ZB fans on their side too, guys. There's some powerful mojo. Whoa! Powerful mojo in this PEC stick, guys. Back to you. I think they were aiming it at you, Bernhard.
No way, no way. Get it out of there. Evanston attacking the other way.
Good ball movement. They moved the ball horizontally from one side to the other. Found Morton on a step in, and he was able to get a 1-2 step, a lift, an elevation, and a finish.
Here are your first quarter stats brought to you by Menards. Make sure you save big money at Menards.
Good job by the field goal situation defensively for Evanston. Lockport off the snide, only 3 of 12. Definitely a storyline, 0 for 4 from the arc. That doesn't get it done. Brian Bradley has really struggled. Evanston holding their own on the boards early on.
Remember, coming up next, your Class 4A state championship. 2 teams that have never been to the state finals will be playing for the biggest trophy of them all, Richards Bulldogs and the ZBs from Zion Benton. Make sure you stick around for that. Between games, of course, we'll have our Country Insurance three-point showdown, the King of the Hill for the three-point showdown. We saw the Lockport fans moments ago. Here, your Wildcats fans. And all of a sudden, they now see themselves on the big screen here at Carver Arena. And, you know, it's interesting because we get big crowds on Fridays. You know, people get out of school, they take off work, but it's really great to see these people come out here tonight. Hey, speaking of great people, the folks at FoxHighlightsChicago.com, they are going to give you a chance to send a video of your best slam dunk to FoxHighlightsChicago.com. The top 5 dunks will get to show off their dunks at a Bulls game and get to watch their dunks from a suite. You can't beat that. These games, by the way, all these games here in the IHSA TV network are being streamed live at FoxHighlightsChicago.com. And Mark, you so very personally know these games are streamed live.
My wife Carrie's beaching it down in Naples, Florida. So her time in the sun, she also took some time to watch IHSA basketball on the web. So she took advantage of that last night. So they're watching in Naples, Florida.
Very good. Evanston's doubled up Lockport here at 14-7. Lockport disappointed with their performance last night against an outstanding Richards team that you will see later. Right now, they're definitely struggling with this defense from Evanston. Gerals tries to create space, and you can count it.
Gerals with a nice opening on the left wing after ball reversal. Saw that opening, takes it hard to the tin. They try to move over to take the charge. Does Travis Clark, but just a little bit too late. Gerald's able to finish, get the blocking foul on Clark, and he'll get a chance for the old time three-point play.
Gerald's another one of these now seniors who have brought up as a sophomore. Part of the Lockport Porters' 3 straight sectional titles, something that has never been done in Lockport basketball history.
They do have strong history of some outstanding teams. Bob Maserich, especially known for his ability to have his teams play great defense.
It's Frazier Chambers, and that's an elbow, and that's a foul. Push off on Brian Bradley. So the three-point play by Jaros, and now the subsequent turnover on the offensive foul gives Lockport a chance to claw their way back from that 14-7 deficit.
Bobby Locke doing a good job. He's really rotating a lot of people through, getting them playing time and trying to keep those legs fresh.
You know, it is a little bit different now with the 4-class system and the restructuring of the semifinals and the finals. The teams are not playing 3 games in 2 days, and especially on this Saturday where you don't have a team playing earlier in the day and then having to come back and play in a 6:30 game. The legs should be a little fresher.
And, you know, a 94-foot floor, usually that would be even more of a detriment to playing 3 games in 2 days. And Brian Bradley that time tried to split the defense, was not able to jump stop, get his feet under control, puts his head down a little bit. He's a leader. He has to pick his head up a little bit, not put it down, because he knows he's not playing well, and he's got to play well, his team to rally around him.
Around the perimeter we go. Jeremy McCray at the top of this offense into the ball game for Evanston.
Just so important is the psyche of athletes. I don't care if it's professional level, collegiate level, on down. You have to feel it.
Bradley out battles Rudnicki for the board off the Krogert Key miss. Bradley through traffic, and it still won't go down.
Now, this is one of those times where Lawrence Thompson Jr., as a coach, you have a decision to make. Do you stay with your star and allow him to play through it, or do you take him out for just a brief 30s, put your arm around him and say, let the game come to you, you're fine, son.
Brian Bradley has missed all 6 of his shots here in the early going. A little over 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. There's a 10-7 Evanston lead at the end of the first quarter.
He's got Darrell Williams at the table. I'll be very surprised if that's not for Bradley.
Ring up a 3. Sean Krogert Key hit a big 3-pointer last night, and just like that, Evanston is back up to that 7-point lead.
Krogert Key knows what he can and cannot do. Very well knows his role. Good step-in jump shooter. Nice body at 6'4", 180. I think he can play college basketball if he picks the right situation.
Now they stick in the middle of that zone. Jeremy McCray. McCray 6'5" in the middle of that front part of the 3-2 zone.
Got Rob Carroll running the short corner now. Basically a 2-1-2 against this 3-2 zone of Evanston, and Evanston's packing it back even more so.
Will not go down for Landon Gamble. It's a rebound to Krogert Key, and Gamble sticks his hand in there to draw the foul. Second foul on the sophomore, Landon Gamble. 4:43 before the half, and Evanston likes that 7-point margin. Back after these words from your local sponsors. Apple's Bakery Peoria has some of the best desserts your taste buds will ever sample. Make sure you visit their website, applesbakery.com, and order one of their Apple Core Care packages. And they deliver to your door from across the country. Now, wouldn't that be a great package to see at your front door? This Apple's Bakery in Peoria.
I think Evanston's defense has really set the tone. Lockport just not any clean looks. And then once you're out of sync, you lose your confidence level just a little bit, and then they've missed some very easy short in and point blank shots as well.
Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Ashley Robinson.
Lockport isn't the only school here playing with a whole lot of longevity in their coaches. Evanston actually had a 61-year period where they only had 3 different head coaches. In 21, Roscoe Hampton started. 1951, Jack Burmaster, and 1974 was Herb Williams. Dave, Mark, I didn't mean to bring the thoughts of gray hairs back to you, but we definitely have 2 teams here with some tradition.
Well, to be honest with you, Ashley, I'd be satisfied with hair. Big jam by Jeremy McCray. Folks love it here. 9-point lead now for Evanston. Darrell Williams has his shot blocked, but a little bit of body as well.
Evanston just much more active on the basketball and away from the basketball than is Lockport at this juncture. Getting up and down the floor and being able to make plays in transition as well.
Landon Gamble's going to get a couple of free throws. We had the King of the Hill Slam Dunk Contest between games earlier today in the 3A games. Marlon Johnson, the Class 1A winner, knocked off Vernon Young, Joseph Bertrand, and John Scherna to claim the King of the Hill Slam Dunk champion. However, That last slam by Jeremy McCray may have made him a candidate.
Yeah, there was some nice athleticism playing above the rim in that slam dunk contest.
Landon Gamble now with 7 of Lockport's 12 points. Sophomore has gotten him off the bench.
Little pick and pop, screen and roll action for Evanston.
Krogert Key could not find the front side of that backboard, and see, he looked like he thought he was coming out, but instead Jeremy McCray will leave as Bobby Locke continues to move his players in and off his bench.
Bobby Locke also continues to change defenses. He went a 2-2-1 full court trap. Now he's going 1-2-2. The ball's got to go into the middle of the defense if you're Lockport offensively here.
Not a good place for Darrell Williams. He gets a timeout at about the 4.5 second count before giving it up with 3:19 to play, trailing by 7. Make sure you join us coming up, as we said, between games, Country Insurance 3-Point Showdown, the King of the Hill competition. It'll match Jameer Walton from St. Rita, Andrew Lortson from Downs Tri-Valley, and Zach Foster from Huntley. Those folks are going to go at it here to crown the King of the Hill. And then after that, it's what you've come for, is the state championship game matching the Zion Benton Zeebies and the Richards Bulldogs. Lockport Porter fans and cheerleaders kind of gotten used to this trip down to Peoria, Evanston. Last time they were here was back, actually in Peoria, was back when they claimed a 4th place trophy in 2003.
You talk about that championship game, a lot of good basketball he played here in the next hour, but Richards, Zion Benton, I think you'll see a much faster pace in this game. I think it'll be a very entertaining brand of basketball as well. You got two teams with a stable full of thoroughbreds that like to run up and down the floor, and I think there'll be a great tempo, which will be an entertaining brand of basketball for tonight's initial 4A state championship game.
Got a quick look there at the Zion Benton fans. Oh, there's some more. Yeah, they're just kind of biding their time. They can't wait. I'll tell you about those t-shirts that the Zion Benton fans wear a little bit later on this evening. I have a feeling there's a few folks in the Zion Benton cheering section that have some black markers stuck in their pockets.
Ready to make the last mark, which would be the exclamation point, I guess, rather than a checkoff.
Through the hands of Lonnie Pinnock, just into the game, into the hands of Rudnicki. And now here comes Bradley in the open floor. Just could not get the clean handle on the ball. He saw Collazo ahead of him.
Collazo was out in front of the defense. Bradley wasn't able to gain control of the basketball. Got a little bit out of control, too fast a pace in the open floor.
So unable to dent that 7-point lead, but maybe they can do it this time. Here's Darrell Williams. Williams has not scored tonight.
We had Williams as one of the keys in our open. He's done some steadying things in this game, has not scored points, but he's kind of been the guy that has settled them down just a little bit, even though there's still only 12 points with 2:41 to go for Lockport.
Lid on the basket for the Porters. In the paint is Darian Hunt. He's going to follow his own miss.
That is the 3rd time Darian Hunt has a stick back already in this game. It's the 2nd time he's been able to persevere and pound the glass on his own miss and finish. Just that extra effort makes you a great offensive rebounder.
And Hunt will have a seat, probably asking Bobby Locke, what more do you want me to do, coach?
Great energy he brought to the floor in the first half.
9-point advantage for the Wildcats over the Porters. Lockport losing last night to Richards by 17. Williams, nice feed inside. Unfortunately for him, deflected slightly. He was looking for Aaron Zerkes inside. Now Zach Morton will push it.
Zach Morton will probably put his medallion around his neck, whether it's 3rd or 4th place tonight, and be on a baseball field on Monday. Going to be a pitcher for Northwestern University.
Rudnicki's 3 misses, and the tip will finally come to Pinnock. Lonnie Pinnock, 6'3" junior for Lockport. Bradley, Williams, and Jaros tonight have combined for 3 points. They are the 3 leading scorers, 3 players in double figures. But Bradley will match that 3. He's on the board, and Lockport, just like that, pulls within 6.
That's just their second field goal in the last 8 minutes of play. They needed that one badly just to be hanging around in this first half.
You're not going to stop Travis Clark if you get the ball that deep. 4 points for Clark. Williams trying to get a little help inside from Zerkes.
Lockport keeps attacking the sideline. They have to make an adjustment, get the ball into the middle of the defense rather than on the side.
Frazier Chambers to Rudnicki. You can wipe that one out.
What they called there is Rudnicki had gone out of bounds. He has to get himself back in bounds and establish a presence on the floor before he can play. So a good call by the officials right on top of that play on the baseline.
I think Lockport would be very happy right here if they could get it to a 6-point game at the half. I mean, they're sitting at 8 right now.
They did a better job there with Pinnock posted up in the middle of the defense, which opens up some passing lanes.
And that foul by Morton will send Brian Bradley to the free throw line.
Anytime you're going to attack a defense, whether it be full court, half court, or quarter court, you have to move the ball horizontally side to side. And as soon as you make that horizontal pass, then you have to look immediately vertical, and that's where you can break down a defense.
Bradley swishes that first free throw, and what's new, he's an 85% free throw shooter, but in that overtime win against Bloom to send the Porters to the super sectional, not only did he hit 2 free throws with 3 seconds left in regulation to force overtime, he made all 13 free throw attempts in that game.
Yeah, he's their go-to guy when a game's on the line. That's because he's been around, the Wiley veteran of 3 years. See, with different people on the floor, they'd usually be looking for Rudnicki, but he's on the bench right now.
Now they better hurry. 40 feet out with 5 seconds left. Frazier Chambers. They got to push it up in a hurry. Garrett Jones can't get it to go. And it's a 7-point game at halftime. It was a 3-point game at the end of the first quarter. Evanston got it up to as many as 9. And they'll head to the locker room with a 23-16 lead, as Evanston has led 15 out of the 16 minutes of this game. You remember yesterday Lockport only led Richards for 33 seconds. So it's been kind of a rough time here early on for Lockport.
Well, you know, Lockport just never got any kind of flow offensively. Evanston changed their defense, full court, half court, quarter court, a lot of run and jump. There has to be some adjustments made.
Bobby Locke standing by now with Ashley Robinson.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, not the prettiest first half, but you're winning.
That's a nice way to put it. We just, you know, it's a tough game to play. It's a huge letdown after where we lost last night. I think we'll get it corrected in the second half. I'll talk to him, and, you know, it's tough. It's tough to come out and play like that, but we'll do a better job.
All right, Coach. Good luck in that locker room. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Ashley, as we take a look at Evanston making a move here. Not enough for Bobby Locke, but again, they had such an emotional loss last night. But, you know, a play like this, kaboom. Maybe you get yourself going. Big halftime coming up here at Carver Arena. Stay with us. Lockport Porters, we're at the half here of our 4A consolation game. Taking a look at your Honda halftime highlights. Honda featuring the all-new 268 horsepower Accord V6. And we started all off with Steven Rudnicki. It's what he does oh so well, the pull-up jumper.
He had a 1-2 dribble crossover right to left, got into the seam of the defense and finished. Then a nice high-low pass, and the sophomore Landon Gamble is able to have soft hands and finish on the inside of the high-low pass. Then a spot-up jump shot by Krogerke, and nothing but net as he nails that one. And then in the open floor, here comes Evanston, and the very solid finish by Jeremy McCray.
Finally, Brian Bradley gets on track. Porter's been waiting for this for 2 nights, and he'll drill that 3. At that point, it had cut the lead down, but it's stretched out now to 7 at the half. And you're looking down upon Carver Arena, the home court of the Bradley University Braves. We've got that third quarter coming up right after this on the IHSA TV network. Good to have you with us. That is what it's all about. That's right. Thumbs up for the Dippin' Dots. Thumbs up if you're an Evanston fan. They lead by 7. And Mark, we take a look at the closer look before we get to Mark's comments. Let's go over to Ashley Robinson. Ashley?
10 turnovers in the first half. Can't score without the ball. What'd you say to him?
Well, we told him we got to play as hard as Evanston's playing. You know, they're creating havoc on our offensive end just by their physical nature. And our kids got to stand up for themselves a little better so they get some chances, some offensive looks.
All right, Coach, good luck. Take it away, Dave.
You know, Mark, and that was one of our keys to the game was the turnovers.
Well, they had 17 yesterday in their loss. We said they needed to be around 12 or 14 for the game. They have 10 already. Key player comparisons. You see Morton didn't start the ball game, and Williams didn't, get off the snide very much. So it's been the supporting cast thus far that have done the damage so far for Evanston, as they have 9 bench points, and they played 11 people already in this half. Lockport's played 9. 20 different people have been in this basketball game, keeping you busy with a play-by-play.
And even so, with that many people on the board, it's a low-scoring game at 23-16 at the half.
I think you have a combination of 2 things, 2 schools of thought. One, try to get a lot of young men the opportunity to play. Secondly, again, fresh legs and trying to wear each other down, that chess match.
Bradley's going to get it started early, and he get the kind roll.
Definite adjustment. They put Rob Carroll in the high post the first time. Bradley went to him. It went inside, back outside, and Bradley had a good look at the basket with rhythm that time, and he was able to finish only 1 for 7 in the first half. He gets his first trifecta to go down in the second half.
And he matches Landon Gamble for team high scoring honors now with 7 points on his second three-pointer. Looking to match the other way, it will not go for Kroger Key, and Lockport here in the early going has already cut it to 4. Possession number 2 in the first 45 seconds. Bobby Locke asking why that wasn't a double dribble for Justin Jaros. I guess it was not really a question, it was more of a statement. That's too much traffic there for Jaros on the feed inside, and Bradley's unable to track down the deflection. Sean Kroger Key, a 6'4", 180-pound senior. Bradley, we talked about the average of 17 points per game. He scored the last 7 Lockport points.
Lockport's also changed their defense scheme. We see a high post screen and roll, a pick and pop, but Lockport playing man-to-man now.
Zach Morton on the runner. You know, that whole trip around for Morton, you were just waiting for him to find the open man. When he became the open man, he knew what to do with it.
Zach Morton is so versatile. He only averaged 9.5 points a game, yet he was the player of the year in his conference. That shows that the coaches voting know all the things he does for this Wildcat team.
You know, and in line with his modesty, you know, allowing his friend Jordan Nash, as Rudnicki scores, he allowed his friend Jordan Nash to start in his place today. So that shows the unselfishness. But when he won that Player of the Year in the Central Suburban South Conference, Morton just kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, well, you know, we're conference champs. I guess they had to give it to one of us.
Yeah, very unassuming young man, very solid student, and an athlete in 2 sports, contributing to his school.
Will not go for Darrell Williams, but the putback will for Mike Frigo.
You know, Frigo, he's a little shake and bake on the inside. He only goes 6 foot 170. Went amongst the trees that time. Was able to position, put the ball on the floor. That's a no-no, but he was able to catapult himself back up to the 10 and finish an inside putback.
Rudnicki along the baseline. And which way will this go? Rudnicki takes the tumble, but he's also going to pick up the foul.
He took the tumble.
Here it comes.
He calls the contact.
Banging into him was 6-foot senior Mike Frigo.
Frigo at 6 foot 170, well-built young man. Four out, 1 in against this zone now. They'll slide another man, probably Frigo, down on the baseline.
Frigo gets it to Gamble. And there's some big bodies battling right there. The bottom of it is Travis Clark. 6'4", 240 pounds. He was going up against Landon Gamble, a 6'4", 215-pound sophomore, as Evanston will take a timeout. And that sets us up for our trivia question for this consolation game. Our trivia is brought to you by the National Association of Realtors. Looking for a professional realtor? Go to Realtors.com. Okay, this afternoon's 3A championship game between Chicago Marshall and Simeon marked just the second time two Chicago schools ever met for a boys basketball state title. Can you name the other two Chicago schools?
Boy, we'll have to banter about that one.
Okay, now I have a thought, and I'm trying to remember. Mount Carmel, who did they play? Or the other thought I have, St. Francis de Sales. I remember sitting in Assembly Hall in Champaign for both of those games. For some reason, I feel like something's going to happen with one of those two schools when we reveal the answer.
I think Eric Anderson's here with St. Francis de Sales, right?
Right.
But who was the opponent? Do you have the right thought process?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to wait as the tease goes on.
Do you know the answer?
I don't.
Okay. I thought you're setting me up for failure and you're going to blow me out of the water here. All right, we'll get back to that. Lockport fans love the screen here above Carver Arena floor. Now, you know, of course, we could go to our IHSA program and check it out, but we don't play that game.
We won't cheat.
Nope. Dave Bernhardt and Mark Lindo with you as we have 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter of our 4A consolation game, championship game coming up after this. Jumper falls off for Eric Dortch. And Lockport, despite shooting under 30% in the first half, finds themselves down by just 6.
Lockport doing a good job just kind of hanging in there. That's because they play good defense in their own right. Anytime you play low-scoring basketball, you're always in the game.
That three a little bit too deep. Ball goes into press row, and it allows us to take a timeout. We'll step aside, take this timeout, so you can check up on these messages from your local sponsors. We've still been debating this during the break. This afternoon's 3A championship game, which, by the way, was won by Chicago Marshall over Simeon, marked just the second time two Chicago schools ever met for a boys basketball state title. Who are the other two Chicago schools? King and Gordon Tech. All right, now, Mark, tell everybody what the question I asked you about Tom Kleinschmidt, because all of a sudden that came into my head. So in a way, even though I didn't reveal it on the air, I had half the answer.
Did he go to DeSales? No.
No.
He went to Gordon Tech and then on to DePaul. So Tom Kleinschmidt led his team down here. The Gordon Tech Rams.
Against the King Jaguars.
Landon Cox really had it going there for a decade or so.
Kroger Key trying to post up Justin Jaros, or they're looking for Key. Tough move. A strong rebound by Frigo.
Nice set by Evanston though. Inside, outside, back inside the post. So good ball movement.
Terrell Williams tried to feed Gamble, but good inside work by Zachary Morton to bust that one up.
Now that work by Zachary Morton that you just talked about, that is something that fans watching this game, that is coached. He was rotating from the weak side. He knew when the ball came from the right wing into the post that he was supposed to leave his man on the far side, or we call the weak side of the floor, rotate over and get an interception. He did that perfectly. Great defensive execution by Zachary Morton.
Lockport has outscored Evanston here 5-4 in this third quarter as we've hit the midway point. That will clang off for Travis Clark. Bradley now has 9 points.
He's heating it up right now. The smoke's starting to come out of his eyes as he was able to hit his heels, elevate off the dribble, and score the mid-range jumper from the baseline.
Sean Kroger Key at the top. Lockport now is pulled within 4. You know, I was going to make a comment moments ago that it felt like Evanston was just keeping Lockport at arm's reach, but now all of a sudden that arm has been shortened a little bit here as Lockport builds a little confidence as their leading man, Brian Bradley, gets himself on track.
Well, especially Bobby Locke talked about he was not real pleased with his team's intensity. You see, as the game goes along, both coaches starting to get a little bit more animated, trying to exhort their team a little bit more, and the competitive level of the coaches and players will indeed rise as this game goes along.
Yesterday we talked about summer basketball and how it translates into the winter, and now getting into early spring basketball and what impact it has. Well, Bobby Locke, the head coach for Evanston, had that feeling in July. When he looked at his team, he said, you know what, we're going to go to state.
Well, Bobby Locke's had an outstanding 3-year run, 62-29, and he knew this was going to be a special team. Starting 5 seniors, he's been building for this.
Tough way to go for Bradley. I looked for a second there as if he was going to run the maze through the entire Evanston Wildcat team.
Lockport, some subtle pressure of their own. That's really not their game.
Clark inside. Sophomore Frazier Chambers. Kroger Key drills it from the left baseline.
Kroger Key got a good look, and he was able to finish it.
And there's that arm's length again, the 7-point difference. Terrell Williams cannot answer. Rudnicki will get in the hands of Morton.
Morton on the run, the no-look pass, and he hits his man in stride. Travis Clark with the soft hands, able to finish.
It will go down for a basket for Travis Clark. Good for him. It'll be one little tick mark on the assists. But that's what keyed the play. Here's Frigo on the baseline drive. Pace starting to pick up a little bit.
So starting to heat up on both ends as transitions go. We talked about the intensity and the tempo picking up. Right now it's a lot more entertaining brand of basketball as we see athleticism going up and down the floor.
How about that, how it just kicks into overdrive. Now Kroger Key. And that chance for a 3-point play. And just like that, it picks up in a hurry.
We've seen more up and down basketball the last 3 transitions as we did probably the first 2.5 quarters. And Kroger Key on the run was able to finish. He gets the bump from behind as Frigo couldn't catch up. And we have a little bit of a track meet going on right now as Evanston extends the lead to 9, which ties our biggest lead of the game.
Now what is it? Why all of a sudden would this game just all of a sudden go from a sedentary pace to just up and down the floor?
Well, I think we talked about it. I think both coaches decided for whatever reason they were going to get into it more. They were going to exhort their team more. And as the coach has a personality, the team takes on that personality. And it doesn't matter if it's on the playground, a summer league, in practice, the competitive juices are starting to flow.
So a 4-point lead is all of a sudden gone up to 10 just like that, and it becomes the largest lead of the game. Lockport with under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. You know, as soon as that pace picked up, deep 3, oh my!
Downtown by Jaros.
Justin Jaros, his first 3 of the night, he has 6. And that pace picked up almost by virtue of Lockport getting things rolling a little bit here, and it's brought the crowd back into it.
41 threes for Jaros, and that one was shot with authority, with confidence, and with a purpose.
It's brought the Lockport crowd back into it. The drive by Hunt, the rebound by Jaros. Numbers for the Porters. With the left hand and a partial block. Bradley, though, double pump and scores.
A 10-point lead. It's down to 5 with a possibility of 4. Lockport on the run, again on that transition. And Bradley was able to clean up the miss as right now Lockport in a nice little bit of rhythm and tempo. The Thoroughbreds on the run.
And that was all Brian Bradley, the 6'3" senior. Uncommitted senior. He likely will go the junior college route. He'd sure like to close out his storied high school career in a big way. He's going to get the 3-point play, and Brian Bradley is one of the top 10 scorers, career scorers all time in Lockport history, 1,200 points, and that puts him among some very, very big names. He's done it really in quite a quiet manner.
And you know, along those lines, though, he also leads this team in assists. So it just shows how versatile he is. He can score, he can set up other people, and so can that young man, Zach Morton.
I don't know if that was planned or he was in midair and said, this is the only way I can score, but Zach Morton gets his 6th point of the night. And now he picks up his 2nd foul. Here's Morton.
He sees the little seam of the defense, was able to twist his body, draw a little bit of contact, no call, but able to have enough balance and body control to finish that play deep into the paint.
And his eyes had the prize lined up. Aaron Zerkes hits the bucket for Lockport, and all of a sudden the scoring pace picking up. Porters still stay within 4.
This was a 23-16 game at halftime, so the point totals have gone up, as has the pace.
And just here in the last 4 minutes, Evanston probably will look to hold here for the final shot. They've got Rudnicki with it, and that's probably who they'd like to have handle the ball. He's got Morton on either wing. Now Morton with it. He was looking inside for Clark, and it was touched last by Travis Clark. 3.3 and the length to go for Lockport.
Good move by Lockport as they double-teamed Rudnicki, made him give it up, and then good rotation on Morton's drive.
Bradley initiating the contact with Frazier Chambers. Kind of took the sophomore to school right there. That's the 3rd foul on Frazier Chambers. Didn't know if that ball had been touched, and that's what Bobby Locke is asking. Well, that sends us to the 4th quarter. We've got a good one here in a consolation game, thanks to Justin Jaros. The big 3, it's a 4-point Evanston lead. Brought to you by Menards, save big money at Menards. And all of a sudden, Lockport, who had been shooting under 30% in the first half, has it up now to 36%.
Well, they have to get better shots. They've gone inside. They've got transition, so they've got the easy thing going there. Bradley, he's their leading scorer with 17, leading them tonight. Frigo, some good minutes as well. Jaros hit the big 3, and Kroger Key, I thought he didn't start as well tonight, normally a starter. He's had a couple nice-looking jump shots.
Rebounding numbers have also tightened up a little bit as well. Well, how quickly this game has changed. It went from 7 down to 4, ballooned to 10, and just like that, Lockport knocks it down to a 4-point difference. Tough shot from Travis Clark. He has 9, leading the Wildcats.
That was a nice set. Zachary Morton used the screen by Travis Clark, kicked it down to Rudnicki, so they had 3 people involved. Rudnicki back to Morton, and then Morton inside to the big hoss inside, who was able to finish.
Bradley to the corner. 3, Frigo, Bradley taking charge of this game. But instead, it will be Travis Clark, the 240-pounder, with the board. Morton blows by Gamble for the layup.
I tell you what, that was no match. 6'4", 215, a sophomore. And Morton says, no way, I'm going by. And he did. He buckled in with his right hand, crossed over his left, and right down as the Red Sea split for a bucket.
Lead doubled now to 8. They'll get Travis Clark with the foul. That'll be the 5th team foul in the half on Evanston.
Evanston traps on the sideline, but a good split by a very senior-oriented play by Frigo, who was able to split the defensive trap and find his man on the inside.
Got a look there at Lawrence Thompson Jr. Lawrence Thompson with back-to-back state cross-country championships. He's been a part of this program, the Lockport basketball program, for 26 years. Back-to-back
state tournament appearances. And their athletic director, Randy Constance, was here last year, and it's his 6th trip for Randy Constance as an athletic director. 4 with West Aurora since 2002 now with Lockport. So it's old hat, old school, but he said it never gets old.
Mike Frigo makes a big 3 for the Porters, who trail now by 5. Rudnicki tries to answer the other way. And finally, a whistle inside as Gamble gets a little skin as well as that leather ball.
Relentless rebounding by McCray and Clark inside. Now conspicuous by its absence tonight, we have not seen Travis Clark and Danny Farr play much together. I know you mentioned the first quarter, but the two big hosses up front have only played sporadically together tonight, and that's usually a big part of their game with those two big guys.
Aaron Zerkes comes back into the Lockport lineup, replacing Gamble.
Farr is on the bench, but has not been in the basketball game for quite a while.
1 of 2 for McCray. Bradley, the acceleration.
I believe we might have a technical foul called. You're going to have a situation, the officials talking it over. Mark Seversky, the referee.
Stephen Rudnicki just picked up a personal foul and a technical foul. So just like that, that becomes 4 fouls. Wow. Here at the 6:12 mark, Bradley at the line, not only looking to chop into that Evanston lead, which he does with that first toss. Now Bobby Locke has to be careful with his 6'4" senior, Stephen Rudnicki. 14 points now for Brian Bradley.
So we'll mark down that as far as one of the keys to the game with 6:12 to go. 4 free throw opportunities and the basketball.
42-38.
It also puts Rudnicki on the bench, their leading scorer.
Darrell Williams has been quiet from a scoring standpoint, and he gives it away to Morton. Shovel ahead, Kroger Key. And the block by Bradley. Look at Brian Bradley get up there and reject it. To the corner, 3, Jaros. Put back, Zerkes. Zerkes with the battle, missed on a point blank, and he's going to be called for the travel. So Lockport unable to climb within 2, and that's what they've been trying to do all night. The only time Lockport has led this evening was when they had a 4-2 advantage. Otherwise, it's been all uphill.
Evanston's biggest lead is 10. We mentioned a few times, Lockport never really let the game get away from them.
Frazier Chambers makes Lockport pay on their offensive end. He has 4 points. And we're right back at that 6-point difference.
Frazier Chambers 4 points, but he's brought an awful lot of energy, speed, athleticism, and just energy. A lot of bounce in his legs, especially on the defensive side, trying to make plays.
Williams has his shot rejected by Clark. Clark just stood there and stuck his hand out. Here's Morton to McCray. And a travel this way.
Good job by Bradley getting in the path of resistance there and causing the travel on the baseline, beating his man to the spot.
Hang on, 4 minutes and 53 seconds are left in these two teams' season. Perfect moment. Walgreens is a proud sponsor of these IHSA telecasts. And of course, the IHSA Do What's Right sportsmanship program.
It's a young lady enjoying the evening. Smile on her face. And a picture does indeed say 1,000 words there.
We mentioned in our pregame about how Lawrence Thompson Jr. said tonight it's all about pride. Both teams going at it, and a foul to Aaron Zerkes. This time, he gets it to go.
I'll tell you what, their second chance points, that's 10 now that we have for Lockport, and that's really kept them in the game. They've been very active on the offensive glass and not being checked off from the outside. They got guys just flying from 15, 17 feet away to keep ball alive above the 10.
Evanston does not have Stephen Rudnicki on the floor. He has 4 fouls. Kroger Key unable to contain it, and now the foul from behind by McCray. 7th team foul against Evanston. That will put Lockport to the free throw line. Orders this year as a team shooting 75% from the line.
And you did see the foul definitely on McCray, but again, I just mentioned the last trip down the floor. The young man has brought great activity to his team a great deal of energy, and I think defensively they're feeding off what he is doing. That's playing basically with reckless abandon on the defensive end of the court.
To the line goes Darrell Williams.
Now they check into Twin Towers. Travis Clark, 6'4", 240, has been in the game. Danny Farr, the Toledo-bound football player, 6'5", 260. So now they have their Twin Towers in the basketball game.
A 3-point difference. Once again, Lockport climbing the hill. As Evanston keep pushing them down. Every time they've been challenged, the Wildcats have answered. And not this trip down. Kroger Key not happy with himself as he completely misfired, misread the cut made, and here comes Rudnicki back in midway through the fourth quarter.
You know, these teams that grow up together, they play 3-4 years together, summer basketball, AAU basketball. This Evanston team, they're going to miss each other. They have dinner together before every single game. There's a team dinner at their own high school. They watch a movie, sometimes game tape, but often just entertainment oriented. That's just how much time they love to spend with each other.
Spin move by Darrell Williams. And with that, we have ourselves a 1-point game.
Darrell Williams been relatively quiet. He was in our open. He's got to make us look smart right now. Nice back to the basket move.
Here's our other featured player, Morton, and that's going to be a blocking foul going against the Porters. 2 shots coming up from Zachary Morton.
You know, Morton has that ability to boom, just accelerate with the basketball. As we see the replay, he did it right there. He just beats Bradley off the dribble. Too slow, rotating over with Zirkus, and Morton gets himself to the free throw line where he does a good job shooting 81% on the season.
He rips that one through. 7 points tonight for Zachary Morton.
He's kind of that quiet, quick person. He doesn't seem like he'd have a great deal of speed and acceleration, but he's able to cross over with the basketball, that low, hard dribble on the dime.
46-43, a long one ties it. Now early in this half, Lockport came alive behind Brian Bradley, but now it's a lot of the other players are starting to pick up some of the slack for Lockport. And they're in no hurry here with 3:12 left.
For probably I would say the 15th, maybe the 20th time of this game, Evanston changes defense, giving Lockport something else to look at as they trap the baseline.
There was one block in there, but there was also a foul. Who's going to get it? There's your current foul trouble, Gamble with 4. And that foul will be called on Ryan Frazier Chambers, who now just picks up his 4th to join his teammate, Stephen Rudnicki.
Frazier Chambers has those fouls because of his aggressiveness that we've been talking about, just surrounding and smothering the basketball consistently tonight in this game.
Zirke's 6'4" senior checking in with a 57% free throw number, misses them both. Under 3 to play here in your Class 4A consolation game. Richards and Zion Benton to follow right here on the IHSA TV network.
High ball screen, this will be a pick and pop.
Instead, it's Rudnicki all the way to the hole.
Rudnicki came off the screen by Travis Clark. There was no one what we call hedging to step out and stop his drive. He took it all the way to the rack.
And the Evanston Wildcats, who have only lost 4 games this season, 2 of them coming to Zion Benton, will be playing for the state title here in about 45 minutes or so. Just continue to make the plays when they need to.
Evanston probably will spread the floor here and give Morton a chance to play in an open court situation.
Bobby Locke had wanted a timeout when he saw Morton trap at half court. He didn't get it, and the turnover will spin it the other way.
See Collazo checking back in for Lockport. I think that's for energy reasons. Just giving his team just a little bit of spark off the bench.
He sets up the left corner. Bradley looked like he was ready to load up, didn't get the clean pass. Williams Palazzo's able to keep it alive, but it's tipped out of bounds by Jaros, and Evanston will have it with 1:57 to play and a 48-43 lead.
Good shot by Williams, just wasn't able to finish the deal. At this juncture right now, it's got to be Bradley or Williams getting their key shots unless somebody else has a wide open lay-in on the inside.
Now a little bit more of an opportunity to spread the floor this time for Evanston.
That 2 possession games gives you that little bit of edge margin for error.
Nice dish inside from Clark to Frazier Chambers.
A nice cut by Frazier Chambers. That's recognition away from the basketball, seeing a seam and having a purpose, moving without the ball.
Jaros from downtown.
35 feet on that one. Get the tape measure out. That was a Ruthian shot.
And with that, that chops the lead nearly in half. We'll take a break for these words from your local sponsors. Building is Carnegie's 501. It's in the Pear Marquette Hotel in Peoria, where you'll find a new fresh menu. Their breakfast buffet is just $7.95. $7 gets you the all-you-can-eat soup and salad bar featuring the entree of the day. Carnegie's 501 Main Street. Where else but in the Hotel Pear Marquette? Make sure you stop by during tournament time or anytime you're in Peoria. Our Chevy Drive to the Game brought to you by Chevrolet. See what's new at ChevyDriveChicago.com, and it belongs tonight to Stephen Rudnicki for Evanston.
Slice and dice. Hey, go back to that breakfast buffet. You buying tomorrow morning at the Pierre Marquette?
You can't beat that price. You join me at about 7 a.m. and we'll do it.
You early bird, you.
Turnover gives the Lockport Porters the ball, and just prior to that, Justin Jaros, long-range three-pointer. It was a 6-0 run by Evanston to boost that lead to 7. Down to about 1:15 to play. Here's Jaros again for 3. Frigo can't hold, but down he goes.
Boy, there's 2 parts of that play that were impressive. One, the ball movement by Lockport. As Jaros was the inbounder, he rotated all the way to the weak side, and then you see the littlest guy, one of the littlest guys up floor, Frigo, go in and make a play before he gets fouled, and he'll get a chance to go to the free throw line, but showing a lot of guts did Frigo at 6'1", 170, going up among the trees.
And he took a tumble, compliments of 6'5", 260-pounder Danny Farr. That's 3 missed free throws here by Lockport here in the final moments. Frigo only a 50% free throw shooter.
This one's even more important for twofold. One, a 1 possession game, and lets them set up a full court defense if they so choose, which they're going to.
A 3-point difference. Rudnicki's going to need a timeout. He'll take it. Evanston will have 1 left. Lockport, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, has used all 3 of their timeouts. 1:12 to play in this game. Bobby Locke, Mark, we can hear him there just to our right, feeling that Lockport was holding on that inbounds that never came out.
Well, Bobby Locke, I think, you know, his intensity, as we mentioned, has really picked up during the course of this ballgame. As we go inside, inside the Evanston huddle.
Here we'll look over the shoulder of Lawrence Thompson Jr. on the Lockport side. One of the keys to Lawrence Thompson is he's able to communicate on so many different levels. And you take a look at Bobby Locke, you know, you talked about his intensity, but it looks like he's just drawing up a play in the summer, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something he's done to the tune of, 33 times in this season. His team's pretty locked in on that posy board that he's drawing. Their main job right now is to set up some kind of screen or screen for the screener. Most defenses will switch automatically, so you have to have a release man. You have 2 schools of thought. Do you run a guy out for the long pass the defense might give up, or you usually want guys coming back to the basketball?
Make sure you stick around following this game. Following our Country Insurance 3-point showdown, King of the Hill competition, we've got that 4A championship game. 2 teams that have never been in the state finals will battle for the biggest prize in Illinois. Richards and Zion Benton, that comes up next.
Lockport has a choice here to face guard and try to deny the inbounds pass or play zone press. They're playing face guard, man-to-man deny.
They better hurry. Didn't get it. Lockport ball.
And the back line guys for Evanston did not, you have to make yourself available to the inbounder, and they were not able to do that.
Free go to Bradley. Remember, Brian Bradley hit a clutch three-pointer to win the Super Sectional at Illinois State University against O'Fallon. Jaros has long range. Rebound grabbed and tucked away by Travis Clark. Rudnicki wanted to go ahead. Williams nearly. Morton, no. Rebound far.
Bobby Locke unhappy with the decision making of Steven Rudnicki. He wouldn't expect that for his freshman. He tried to push when he didn't need to. You see the rebound on the inside by Evanston, but they're not in the bonus yet, so they're going to have to inbound this ball, get it out, and probably be fouled.
They get it inside to Clark, Morton, and create some space. Gerald's forced to foul Frazier Chambers, a 69% free throw shooter. 1-1 for Frazier Chambers.
He only averages 1.4 points a game, and here he finds himself with a trophy on the line, the bigger of the two, third or fourth place, with this huge free throw opportunity.
Leaves it short, but tracks it down. How about that for Frazier Chambers?
One of the things that coaches say just about every free throw this season is who's got shooter, who's got shooter. And Frazier Chambers was not blocked out. That ball came basically right back to him. He used a little bit of hustle, gets himself back to the foul line where he's got a second chance to put his team ahead by 2 possessions.
You see Frazier Chambers with a smile on his face. He and Bobby Locke were exchanging evidently a very humorous conversation, but it worked.
In this case, the second time the charm for Frazier Chambers. Normally, you would say 36 seconds is a lot of time left. However, Lockport out of timeouts.
And now down by 5. Bradley pulls up on the dribble. Bombs away. Into the hands of Rudnicki. And Steven Rudnicki will go to the free throw line. He knocks them down at 86%.
Well, under the 1 minute mark, Evanston 2 out of 3 from the foul line. They missed the first 1 and 1. Did Frazier Chambers. Then he was able to cash in on the next 2. And now Rudnicki, they have one of their premier shooters on the line trying to basically finish this deal. Rudnicki shoots 86% from the charity stripe.
And another rebound taken off by your shooter. How about that?
Lawrence Thompson Jr., you can just see the frustration because he got 2 misses on bonus situations, foul number 7 and foul number 9, and was not able to come up and retain possession and gain possession of the basketball. So Rudnicki gets another chance, and he'll probably cash in on this one.
Just like Frazier Chambers did moments ago, there you go. Really, how often do you see that, let alone in a span of 20 seconds at crunch time?
And let alone with the game on the line, basically.
Two for Rudnicki. So that's 4 free throws here in the last 20 seconds. And it's a 7-point lead for Evanston. Terrell Williams finishes. Now remember, they're out of timeouts. Lockport is. Ahead to Frazier Chambers, and he wanted to get rid of it to Rudnicki. Instead, he'll go back to the line with 7 seconds to play.
So the Wildcats are going to take home some third place hardware. Lockport found themselves in an early struggle, down 10-7 into the first quarter, down by 7 at half, 23-16. They were hanging around. They stayed competitive. They just were never able to get over the proverbial hump.
They took a 10-point lead down to 1, but as Evanston had done all night, when they needed to come up big, they did. 4 straight free throws by Ryan Frazier Chambers. And Lockport will get one more shot to their season. Jaros will hit a 3, but that will do it. Your third place winners in Class 4A in 2008, the Evanston Wildcats. Talk about wire to wire. Here in the third place game, Evanston led for all but 1 minute of the game. That came very early. They took the lead with 4 minutes left in the first quarter and never let it go.
Yeah, you know, they persevered. I thought they had great energy. They got great energy off the bench. They played, at least 11 guys in this basketball game. They brought fresh. They really changed their defenses. I thought confused Lockport. Lockport with frigid shooting to start the basketball game. Give Lockport an awful lot of credit. They stayed with it, albeit a third place game. They still wanted it badly, but just were not able to finish the deal in their comeback.
Ashley Robinson standing by with the victorious coach, Bobby Locke.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, seems like 3's your number. Third year coaching, third place. How's it feel to win third?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I mean, to come from where I came from my first year, it was a rough year. I'm happy for my boys. You know, like I've been telling everybody, they stuck by me. They believed in my system because it was a totally new system from what they're used to. It hasn't even sunk in yet. It's a great feeling.
All right, well, you go let it sink in right now then. Congratulations. Now our Country Insurance and Financial Services Player of the Game, Zach Morton. Perfect from the field, 4 for 4. Not too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. I try to take good shots, but, I mean, Team Davis got me open, so took the good shots.
So that went out to 10 points and 2 for 2 from the free throw line, too, so it was just a perfect day for you, huh?
I guess. And we won, too, so that sealed the deal, so that was good.
Definitely. Well, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Back to you.
Thanks, Ashley and Marky. We looked into the eyes of Bobby Locke, and we saw a little bit of emotion there. His season comes to an end, and he comes away third place winners, 56-52 over the Lockport Porters, who'll pick up that fourth place trophy. Don't go anywhere. We've got the Country Insurance 3-point showdown, the King of the Hill competition, coming up after these local.